Good morning. Good morning.
Trey, when you think about the goals that you guys had at the beginning of the season and how it ended up stacking against the reality, just what was the hardest part about going through this year?
I mean, it's never easy whenever you don't get to where thought you could have been um, or playing till you thought you could have been. But obviously, we had a lot of injuries and things not go our way, and um, it's part of it. So you just gotta face reality and then be better next year.
As far as what Coach and Landry have just kind of talked about with what they'd hoped things would work out as far as internal development and this team growing, kind of what did you see from everyone as far as they've learned and grown this year?
I think a lot of guys got better. I think a lot of guys. I mean, a lot of guys got their first opportunity this year. You think of Jalen. Sadiq before he got hurt. Was put into a big role for us, and Veet coming in playing a lot of minutes. There's a lot of guys that got like their first real taste of the league this year and a lot of minutes. So I think a lot of guys got better too. So I don't think it was a failure in that way. I think a lot of guys did get better and got a lot of experience and things like that, and it'll help everybody moving forward.
Trey, what did you learn about yourself this season, or what did this season kind of reinforce what you already knew, especially going through injury and surgery and all that?
For me, I didn't think I learned too many new things. Obviously, I know uh, you can never take a day for granted. Obviously, it's my first year. I've missed this amount of games, so and it was from a freak play. So just understanding. I already knew that you can't take a day for granted, but or a game for granted. So, but missing the amount of games I did this year just makes me realize it even more.
When you look at Quinn's first full year, and you look at the defense as a team, in what areas did you progress and make growth, and in what areas do you think there's still room to grow?
Yeah, I think we weren't as consistent as we needed to be on that end. We're always, since I've been here, we've been a really, really good offensive team, and defense has been the side that, has been there sometimes and hasn't. So I think even this year we had times that we did really well, and then times that we really didn't, and that's why our record showed the way it did. And you can't put all the blame on Quinn because he's the coach. He ain't out there playing. So the scheme sometimes works, and then sometimes it doesn't. But at the end of the day, we all can be better on that end and give him more effort and things like that. But I think just sometimes it's just the matchups too.
How was your finger? How did it feel the day after, especially after you played without the brace in the second half?
Yeah, it felt fine. It felt fine. I think the brace was just more for caution, and the doctor wanted me to have it on for caution reasons and making sure it didn't re-injure itself. So I was playing, and it was fine after I didn't play with it after that half.
Besides injuries, what do you think is lacking or needs to be added to make you guys more consistent and just get out of that play-in tournament?
Oh, that's not my job. I'm a player. I'll let Landry and everybody else up top do all that and handle all that. I just gotta continue to get better and focus on the things that I didn't do well this year, and things that I did do well, continue to do that and get better at that over the summer. And I can control what I can control, and that's all I'll focus on.
There will be always some talk at the end of the season about maybe changes that need to be made and maybe movements. Do you want to be here next year? Do you still believe in this team that they can be a championship team down the years?
Yeah, every year teams are different. Obviously, I want to be here. I want to be here, but I want to win too. So, obviously, I've said that since I've been here. I want to be here. I want to win championships here and do that. But I want to win. So, that's pretty much all it is for me. That's my motto, and that's been me from the beginning.
When you say I want to win, though, do you believe that can be here with the Hawks, or do you believe it's somewhere else?
No, I believe it can be here. We gotta make it happen.
You and Jalen have become pretty close over the last couple of years. How nice was it to see the big leap he made, and then kind of what was it like for you two as he was hurt a lot this year and kind of had to stop and start so much?
It was great. It was great to see. Obviously, like I said, this is his first year. He got to really play, and obviously played really well when he was out there. But I mean, it's tough because you didn't get to play as many games as we all wish he could have with injuries, and that's just been like the tell-all since. I mean, I've been here, so a couple of good players on my team every year go down. I mean, this year I was one of them, so it's tough. I mean, hopefully next year he doesn't have any of those ankle injuries, and I'm gonna try to put him on some of those ankle braces I got, so we don't have to see that anymore.
If a player you know talks to you this offseason and wants to know more about this situation here, what would you tell him?
Say that again.
If there's a player who's looking for a place the next season, and they talk to you, what would you tell them?
About here?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much I can talk. I don't know what tampering and what's not.
Like that, but you got a conversation and says what's happening in Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'd let them know that they came here. People don't understand. Like, I don't mind. Like, people may think that I have to feel like I'm the best player on the team or first option on. Like, I mean, I'm not that way. I've never been that way. So I'm just a guy that's trying to get everybody involved and win the game. And I know when we win, everybody eats. So that's just been my motto since I was in high school, college. So being the best player on my team doesn't matter. Being the second doesn't matter. Like, I just want to win. So if I was telling somebody that, that's probably what I'd tell them and let them know that if they came here, they're going to have a point guard that's going to get them the ball and make sure that they're in the best positions for themselves and for our team to win.
Against Minnesota, I think you hit one of those one-legged sort of three-point floaters.
Mhm.
And I think you got fouled on one and against Indiana. Is that something where you were just trying to have a right to left move with your hand injured, or do you think that's like a viable shot moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, that's something I'm about to add moving forward. I worked on it a lot this year. I think it's something for me where guys can't contest my shot while I'm coming off a screen, and I'm able to kind of shoot on the run and shoot kind of like a longer floater. And I mean, I can shoot floaters really well, so I think that's something I can add to my game.
You referenced that you're not the GM, but do you will you talk to Landry and them and just say, hey, what about this, what about this? I mean, do you like giving ideas, or do you just like to be the player?
I mean, I talk to those guys, and if I'm brought a question, I mean, I'll answer it. But I mean, I don't focus on other guys' contracts and what they have left or who we trade for us and all that stuff. Like, that's up to them. And I mean, if they come to me and ask me questions, obviously I answer them, but I'm never going to go to them first and tell them what I feel like we need for our team.
Do you feel like this is like the hardest or most frustrating off season that you're going into, just because there are so many questions and you guys are kind of in the same spot?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of the toughest. Probably this one after my first year, when not knowing what the league is going to be like and coming in with a lot of irrational confidence, thinking we were going to make the playoffs and things like that my first year. So after that summer, and this is definitely tough because obviously we have expectations now, and when you don't reach that, and it doesn't obviously make the fan base happy, but it obviously makes us unhappy too, because we set our expectations high too. So it's not a good feeling, and you try to go in the summertime to work on what you need to make sure it doesn't happen again.
How long will you take before you kind of get back and work on what you need to get to the next step?
I'll probably take a couple weeks off, make sure my hand is back to 100% before I start doing anything else. I don't want to have to use my buddy tape or making sure that these fingers are together when I'm working out again. So probably give it a couple weeks and then right back to it.
You've mentioned before you wanted to be on the Team USA team this summer. Is that still a goal of yours for 2028 when it's here? Just what do you think of the roster that they have?
Yeah, I mean, that's a hard roster to make. I mean, to be honest, I kind of like what Kyrie said about it. Like, when I was a kid watching guys like him go against Kobe and all those guys, and I felt like you had to kind of, compete and go up against each other and see what roster fits well. Obviously, guys probably knew who was going to make the roster regardless, but going out there is, like I've always said, like I respect the guys before me. So, like, I didn't necessarily, know 100% if I was going to make it or not, or even believe I was going to make it. But having the opportunity to be out there around those guys and learn from them for 4 or 5 days and compete with them was something that, I mean, as a player you look forward to, especially some of us that have witnessed as fans from kids watching the guys go through that as kids. It's a different process now. It's like they just pick it, but that's okay. It didn't work for me this year. Who knows in 2028 where I'll be in life, so we'll see.
Trae, I don't know if you saw, but Blue Will was talking about you recently, and then Rondo's also mentioned you and talked about like the pressure you've gone through and just how you're able to kind of carry this franchise. What is it like to have players who have played with you and retired players say that kind of stuff about you and support you that way?
I mean, it's really good to know and good to feel. I mean, obviously, like those guys, they know me a little bit more personally than a lot of other people do. So, and they've been in this locker room and seen behind the scenes on what I've gone through and what I've had to deal with, and so they know me more than a lot of people. So it's cool that obviously they show love and sometimes mention things that that I just let it slide and don't necessarily mention. So it's cool to have those guys around supporting me, and I know they got my back.
As a player, what do you think is needed to have a championship caliber team?
I mean, it's a lot of things that go with it. I mean, a lot of people don't like to admit it, but there's a little bit of luck that goes into winning a championship every year too. I mean, being healthy isn't the easiest thing in the world. A lot of teams go and deal with it, and usually the teams that win have a little bit of health luck too. But you need a lot of things. I mean, you need a lot of things, and I don't think we're far from that. But you definitely need a lot of things and to go your way too. So that's pretty much it.
You said I want to be here, but I want to win too, and I hear you saying like winning is paramount for you. Can you just elaborate on how much that means to you to be on a winning team, and maybe the frustration that it hasn't happened here yet?
What do you mean? What is your question? I'm sorry.
Like it seems like for you, above all else, you want to be on a winning team. Is that a reasonable thing to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Trae, what's the podcast experience been like for you this year, especially like going through the season, you know, carving out that time, getting guests, and just kind of expanding that part of you as a person?
It's been fun. It's been cool. I mean, like I was telling everybody, I'm not like Draymond. I ain't about to be doing it every day. But I will do it every now and then. I'll do it a couple times, maybe a month. But yeah, I mean, next year I'm gonna have a lot more guests on. I think this year we're doing some trial things and see how people liked it, and a lot of people have. So probably next year doing some more things, and may have some other celebrity guests and not just hoopers. So it's gonna be cool, and you got a lot of topics to talk about.
I know you talked about that first year, you kind of were maybe surprised how hard it was kind of to win in the league. But at this point in your career, are you kind of surprised that it's still kind of this hard to win?
I'm not surprised. I kind of know. You kind of know what to expect. You kind of know when you're missing 3 of your starters and you're down a big bench player, how tough it is to win. And I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into winning. So a lot of things don't necessarily surprise me, but anymore about that type of stuff.
Will you watch the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, I always do. They was watching me when we were on that run, so I expect to go on another run and people watching it again. So I don't hate like that.
As a player who loves winning, what does it feel like to watch the postseason and not play in it?
It hurts like hell. Like it hurts like hell. That's why I feel the way I feel. So when I don't know if I didn't feel, I mean, that experience of going the way we did, if I feel that I would feel the same way I do now. But after going through what we went through, obviously the expectations are higher, and for not only the fan base here, but for me myself. So I want to get back there. I want to go further. So that's why I feel the way I do.
Do you feel the pressure of the city and the fan base wanting a championship and wanting to see you guys be so successful?
No, I don't know, because nobody's expectations are higher than me. Nobody in the city of Atlanta's expectations of our team is higher than mine. So no, I don't feel it, because to be honest, I'm more mad and upset than anybody else, because we didn't reach the expectations I had for our team or our team had for each other. So regardless of what everybody else thought we could have done.